happy year of the fire horse. There's so much happening right now astrologically, especially today on the 17th of February. I took some notes. This is going to be a longer reading. There's probably going to be a bunch of parts for this reading. I took a lot of notes because there's so much happening. So, before we get into the tarot, before we do a tarot reading for the beginning of the fire horse here, as well as the new moon and solar eclipse in Aquarius, there's a lot happening. There's an intense portal today. Let's talk about the type of tarot cards that are connected to this energy that we're entering. That's why I pulled these out. These are the most important cards when it comes to embodying the energy of the year of the fire horse. The Chariot is all about victory. It's about fast-paced, like willpower, and especially the control over opposing factors. You can see the Sphinx here, the white and the black Sphinx, 111 on the timer, and new beginning. It's basically like the Aries child and Saturn father planet, those 1 2 3 on the timer as well, those energies interacting with each other, right? Kind of opposing energies and finding a way to compromise between those two energies. And the Knight of Wands as well, it's basically fire and fire together. The Knight standing for fire, and the wand standing for fire, the fire element as well. So that's a daring energy, very adventurous, an adventurous spirit, and very charming. Someone just came home. And the Strength card as well is about, again, taming your inner fire with compassion and patience rather than just forcing things. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be understanding with yourself. You have to understand these opposing energies within, find compromises that lead to an equilibrium, right? 213 on the timer. So basically what's happening right now is we're entering into an age, and Saturn moving into Aries kind of symbolizes that as well. Everything is falling 222 on the timer on the same date, which is why everything seems so fast. But that's just what it seems like. Everything is not as it seems, but we're going to talk about that when we talk about the solar eclipse and the new moon in Aquarius, which is also starting today, which is happening right now as we speak. So in 2026, the last time I think it was, oh, I didn't write that one down. I think it was in the 60s sometimes, 1966 or something. 1968 was the last fire horse year we had. So it's about rapid progress and change, not just in your own life, but also on a societal level. The institutions are changing. They're breaking down and forming anew. It's like, it's just adapting to the circumstances, adapting to the needs, adapting to the changes occurring. 310 on the timer. So very intense energy, very about your own mindset, your own independence, and your own freedom, which is also coinciding with the Aquarius solar eclipse and new moon. It's very independent energy. Aries and Aquarius together, basically fast-paced and hard-headed, and I'll do it my way, but being halted by the limitations being put upon us by Saturn, right? So because apparently Aries and Saturn don't get along, right? They don't get along. Aries wants to do what it wants to do, and Saturn is telling it, let's see what you can do. Let's see the limits you have. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not a trained professional. I got my sources from the internet as well. My information is coming from ascentgetlifted.com, as well as Jing Theory from an Instagram post I saw. Especially when it comes to the year of the fire horse, on that information, get it from your Chinese sources. There's a bunch on TikTok right now. I'm sharing information, what to do, giving you advice that's a little bit more individually focused, like to your sign, to who you are, right, as a person. So be bold in your leadership this year. Be okay with being seen. You have to be okay with being seen. Which also means that you have to be authentic, again, coinciding with Aquarius. Don't scatter your energy. Be focused in your energy. Be like the Knight of Wands. Have a definitive goal ahead and charge towards that goal with a courageous, adventurous, and passionate spirit, right? So it's about balancing your independence. You, of course, have to maintain your community ties, but you have to also make sure that you maintain your freedom. You have to embrace adaptability as well. Stay flexible because there's a lot of changes occurring. There's a lot of recalibrating with the limitations put on that we're being how can I explain this? Phrase this. That Saturn is imposing on us, basically, right? So today, especially, it's the beginning of the year of the horse, fire horse, the solar eclipse in Aquarius, and a new moon in Aquarius as well. Usually, with a new moon, it's a reset. So you use a new moon, the energy of a new moon, for manifesting, for planting seeds, but not with this eclipse. Try to wait with your bigger manifestations for the next normal new moon. Basically, right now the energy is very obscured. It's very unstable. Something is starting though, whether we want it to or not. 555 on a timer. There's a transformation happening, and the new moon in Aquarius, as well as the solar eclipse, it kind of urges us to keep moving, but we don't even know where we're moving, which automatically tells us we have to follow our heart. We have to follow our authenticity. So even if that means you have to slow down, you have to do what feels right to you. You shouldn't confuse. And I really highlighted the things that Jing Theory said in her video. You can check her out on Instagram, or I'm going to put it in the description down here. She said something about movement required without certainty. So you have to move even if you're uncertain whether how you're moving is the right way or not. You have to follow your heart, be authentic, move on your authentic path, and you also shouldn't confuse urgency with alignment. So don't rush any decisions, move very lightly and stay flexible. Just know that where you're going is the path that your heart has chosen, not what you think you have to do. Follow your own freedom, your own authenticity, right? So, and what she also said, which I really liked, is when heaven is unstable, bring stability to the earth. Right now, it's about something about cosmic timing and earthly timing. At the beginning of the new year, like during the new year, according to Chinese folklore, or like whatever, to Jing Theory, according to her, when heaven is unstable, when the cosmic timing is just changing, then the earth is in a confused state of timing, basically. So when you are in an energy like that, you have to ground yourself. You have to bring stability to the things you control, to earthly matters. And during these eclipses right now, which coincides with all of these themes, the insight that you gain, which is why you shouldn't manifest at the moment. This is going longer than I expected, not gonna lie. I thought this would be like a 3-minute thing. I haven't even started the tarot reading yet. Anyway, you gain the insight after it's over, during an eclipse, not before. So right now, don't rush to conclusions, just listen instead. Make sure to ask more questions instead of giving answers right now. Be very observant. Let your instinct guide you, basically, right? So another piece of information, the Aquarius sign is basically the humanitarian. So even if there's a lot of themes of independence at the moment, themes of charging ahead on your own accord, and like letting your heart lead, this time is still about community. It's the humanitarian sign, right? It's about friendship, networking. So what you could think about when it comes to this time right now with the new moon and the solar eclipse in Aquarius, think about what happened around this time 8 years ago, because that will echo during this eclipse portal. And again, the most important thing is to stay true to yourself and operate from your own authenticity. So that is all the information I have gathered on this. Look at my cute notebook. I printed the design for the tarot. Isn't that cute? Anyway, that's what we have in terms of information on this current portal that we are in, on the energy that is surrounding us at the moment that we are moving into. So having said all that, it took like 10 minutes. I guess you will get your tarot reading in part 2. And this was just the information on whatever is happening at the moment. I am not sure if I'm super qualified to say that, but also I can still learn, right? I'm a student, so let me learn. Let me make mistakes if I made any. but I doubt it.